Okay, so this is a little surprise stream that I don't anticipate anybody will actually jump into the chat for. I decided kind of last minute yesterday that I wanted to do this so that I could instead prioritize Gamefly sending me Elden Ring to review as soon as possible instead of having them send me this one. And I thought I would just make content based on the demo of this one. This is Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. I'm playing it on the Xbox Series X, but maybe through backwards compatibility. I don't know if it's got a native version, but I'm a longtime fan of the Final Fantasy games, especially the earlier installments of the franchise in the 8-bit and 16-bit eras. But yeah, we'll see what this one has for me. I'll talk more about my preferences as we go along. English, yes. I like to dial up my brightness quite a bit since I'm usually gaming in a bright room. Yeah, let's favor performance. Kind of gotten used to that. 60 FPS on the newer consoles. First portion of the game, part of your save data can be carried over to the full version. Okay, some game features will be restricted in the demo. Well, hopefully not the ones I would really care about. Only available online for a limited time. Connected to Xbox Network to play. That should be fine, unless I need to have a subscription or something. Some game and platform features may not work properly. Beta version. Okay. All right. All right. What I really want is to find the difficulty settings. Because I heard despite being, a Souls-like type of game or inspired by Souls-likes, it has difficulty settings, but maybe that's not here. Okay, let's get into the game then. Oh, here we go. A mode for players who don't usually play action games, want to breeze through battles, and are looking to enjoy the story. Enable casual mode for an even more relaxed... Enable casual mode? I don't see a casual mode here. Does that mean it's coming later? Or did they forget that this is called casual mode? Maybe got their terms listed inconsistently. Beginners who are familiar with action games. Okay, so I'm going to go with story. I'm currently playing Elix. A mode for those wanting more relaxed. You'll be able to keep all your MP after falling in battle and more. Oh, this is an additional maybe layer or sub-mode? After falling in battle and more. Yes, yeah, I don't want to lose stuff after dying. Now, this is supposed to be either a prequel or a retelling of the original Final Fantasy that released on the Famicom in Japan and NES in the United States. But it looks like it's a complete visual redesign. I don't know if we're going to have mages with steeple hats and stuff like that. That's what I would prefer, because you can get a darker aesthetic. You can get a Souls-like aesthetic that's still... Oh, well, that looks like the first boss in Final Fantasy a bit. The horns and stuff. I don't know, I'll be interested to see how they try to translate that to a Souls-y type aesthetic. Which, unfortunately, there is such a thing. I like dark, gothic fantasy designs, but I don't like difficult gameplay, and developers seem to think that they have to go together these days. But they are offering an easy difficulty here, so maybe they're not completely cutting off me, the long-term old school Final Fantasy gamer who is used to Final Fantasy being not about action and twitch skills and punishing, reflex difficulty, but more about thinking, planning, deciding, choosing. Although the games have become less that in recent years. Final Fantasy 15 didn't really have very deep systems, and the combat was mostly holding down a single button for me. I haven't finished that game, but I'm well deep enough into it. Probably 40 hours or more. Don't know if I'll ever finish it. But, if they could find a way to... Let's see, differences between difficulties. Enemy strength and items. The ascending order of difficulties is story, action, then hard, with each level providing successively tougher enemies, increased rewards, and better equipment. That makes sense. While playing story difficulty, you can also activate casual mode for an even more forgiving experience. Difficulty can be changed at any time from the world map. Great. That's what I want. Casual mode is defined by the following characteristics. Enemy strength and obtainable items are the same as in story difficulty. Break gauge consumption for soul shield and other abilities is decreased. I'm sure that'll make sense later. Unblockable attacks can be blocked. Okay, like that. Max MP is not decreased when falling in battle. Oh, max MP! Yeah, I definitely don't want my max MP to go down after falling in battle. Fallen allies will automatically be revived. Yeah, I like all that they're saying about casual mode, so I'm going to be doing that. It's so weird that the Final Fantasy series is almost progressively seemed ashamed of its turn-based combat system, leaning more toward real-time and then eventually action, and now like freaking Souls-like if that's what this is going to be. Just like, oh my gosh. That's been such a bummer to see over the years. But it happened gradually enough that, I still loved most of the first half of the series. Oh no, come on, you gotta... Crap. Okay. The camera, I need to invert. Can I... Oh, you're not gonna let me pause. That's so lame. Okay, we're gonna go to system settings. I don't know if I can pause now. Control settings. Try to keep me alive, guys, okay? How about camera settings? Here we go. Vertical movement inverted. There we go. Okay, that should be good. Okay. So, right stick to lock on. And then what? Evade. Guard. Normal attack. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's spam that for a bit. Wait. Evade is... Oh, evade is A. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Where's my health? Am I Jed, Ash, or Jack? I must be Jack. Sprinting slash. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, the purple bar is my stamina. Oh, soul bursts. Okay. Wow, I thought he was just down to half health. Unless he transforms into a different thing now.
Wait, what? Looks like it.
Then why doesn't it feel like it?
Proceed. I'm only going to play this for about an hour, if they'll let me play that much. I don't know how much the demo allows for. Wow, they're playing My Way right now. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to need to talk through all of this so that somehow that I don't get Papa Japa. I don't get canceled off of the YouTube. Papa Japa. Papa. Ba 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 da da ba 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 my way, my way, my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. I did it my. Okay, I think we're good now. All right, what is this? Okay, basic controls. I'm having deja vu. Did I do this demo at some point? Okay. Oh yes, I am having deja vu. This is an updated demo from that I must have played the original demo. I kind of don't want to do this. I just want to be thrown into the mix and really see how much I can lean on the casual difficulty. Oh, okay. Crap. Good. Man, I'm really gonna have to do all this stuff, aren't I? Great. Can I skip the rest? Oh man, invisible walls. Come on, get me out of here. What do I... Oh. Yellow bar above an enemy is its break gauge. Attack the enemy to deplete the gauge. Press red trigger to expend MP and use an action ability. Deal heavy damage to break damage to your foe. Okay, great. Okay. Okay. B to finish them off. Okay. Slaying enemy with a soul burst will recover your MP and raise your max MP. Great. Hold B to deplete your break gauge and adopt the soul shield stance. Blocking an attack in this stance will restore MP and increase your max MP. Press RB after a successful block to lunge forward and unleash a normal attack. I don't know if I want that. Alright. Oh, in time with the enemy's attack. Did I do it? Okay. Trigger additional attack with successful soul shield. Good. I'm not really into block and parry mechanics in games because many times I feel like I don't know when within the animation is the legal time to press the button so that the block or parry will be effective. Soul Shield is an extremely powerful counter that will stagger an enemy while raising your max MP. However, it will greatly reduce your break gauge, so a failed Soul Shield may end up putting you in hot water. See, this is what I'm talking about. Guarding, on the other hand, will greatly reduce the amount of break damage you take. It's a safe way to reduce the threat of incoming attacks. Start combat by guarding to get a feel for your enemy's attacks, then gradually mix encounters with Soul Shields as you get more comfortable with the flow of battle. This definitely does not feel like what I think of as Final Fantasy, and probably also not my kind of game. The amount of MP gained by Soul Shield is directly proportional to the amount of break damage a blocked attack would have dealt. Soul Shield is an effective countermeasure against big damaging attacks, but guarding and evasion are better strategies against faster attacks that hit more often. Okay. So remind me again what buttons to do what? B is Soul Shield, right? When you deflect an enemy ability with a purple name using Soul Shield, that ability will become usable as an instant ability. Activate instant abilities pressing X. Instant abilities do not consume MP, but their number of uses is limited. Hey, Adam Collings. Yes, it is one big sword. As is traditional, I think, in Final Fantasy games. Oops, okay. A little late. Oh, I missed. Oh no, I did use it, I just didn't hit him, so it still counted. Alright. What I want to see, you know, usually the way I like to learn action games is for there to be an easy enough difficulty setting. Oh jeez. I think I'm down technically to should be dead health. I prefer my action games to have an easy enough difficulty that I don't have to learn the combat systems until I feel like it. You know, like I can coast and just spam some dumb attack button, and then over time, as I'm gaining a comfort level with the game, I can experiment, I can remind myself, what did that tutorial say? Because I can never remember these tutorials later on in the game. I just need to learn it over time, gradually, take it at my pace. I did not grow up enjoying action games. I've never been good at them. I'm just too slow to react, and I'm a deep, slow, contemplative thinker. I'm not a fast thinker. I like to have time to think, which is why I've always preferred the turn-based classic Final Fantasy games. When your max MP is increased to 2 or more full gauges, you can spend MP and max MP to cast Lightbringer. Okay. While Lightbringer is active, enemies become easier to soul burst, which is very helpful when you're surrounded by foes. For more information, see the relevant entry in the tips section. Okay. I just want to get into the game. Can we... Jeez. Did that do it? Okay, great. Now just defeat all goblins, right? So let's just spam. Oh, he's still there. Oh, who's this guy? Oh, it's a goblin. He looked bigger jumping at me from behind. But yeah, I like, for me, video games, and even more so third-person action video games, are an adult version, what I want them to be, what I want the experience to be, or why I would pursue playing them, is to scratch a similar itch to playing with action figures as a kid. I don't want challenge. I want to just play with my action figures and have them have cool powers and make cool action scenes with them. That's what I want to do. And so my motivation for learning special attacks and stuff like that is not to help me get through the game. I want to be able to get through the game without having to use those things. My motivation is if they look cool and then can create cool action moments in terms of spectacle, in terms of drama, those types of things. So that's what I'm looking for with the difficulty settings in this game, is allow me to just gradually, as I feel like it, learn the moves that would be to my advantage.
Look, and crystals can sense each other.
You have one too.
Hey, Justin Myers. Welcome.
My mission is to kill chaos.
He says, pretty par for the course for the Final Fantasy. Yeah. Oh, he's talking about the big sword, yeah.
Good.
Not much else about this is par for the course in Final Fantasy games.
Jed.
Well, that's not true. I mean, basically, starting with 15... I don't think 13. 13 was action-y, but still had like a turn-based thing, but it was real-time and very fast-paced. Oh, I guess I should be reading this. I don't know. You guys can read it. I'll read it later if I want to. But 15, definitely more action-y. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, definitely more action-y. But this one is just like full-on. Those, I think, are still kind of real-time with still turns as part of a structure. I don't see any semblance of turns being tracked
It's just a scratch.
here.
Nothing a little spit can't heal. When are we gonna fight chaos? All this monster hunting is a pain in the ass.
Now, in the clips we've seen leading up to the release of this, a lot has been made of the fact that the main character is like, I'm gonna find chaos. I want to fight chaos. You know, just kind of like this weird cheesy dialogue. And what some people have been saying, some reviewers have been saying, is that like, it gets to the point when you're playing the game that it's just so campy that it's like so bad that it's good. So bad that it's funny or whatever. And that typically doesn't work for me. Unless the guys from MST3K are chiming in with their comments. Not just anybody.
The people
Not just people in the theater
believe in
yapping.
prophecy.
Learn to keep your
Patiently
your
awaiting its
mouth
fulfillment.
zipped
When
with your
darkness
yapping in the
veils
theater.
world,
But the trained
more
professionals
warriors of
of the well, it's not MST3K, it's Rift Tracks. The Rift Tracks guys. I think I enjoy them more than the modern iteration of MST3K. Don't think I'm gonna read any of this. Cornelia. Wait, is this? I thought it was Corneria in the original. I could be wrong. Anyway, we're gonna proceed.
You are skilled, to be sure. Few could have slain even one of those abominations, let alone 3. There is still the matter of your number, however.
When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come.
And your crystals trouble me. They do not shine the color they should.
Can't argue with that. But you need warriors, right? Look in front of you. Here we are, ready and willing to take chaos down for you.
And with all due respect, isn't that what...
Yeah,
matters
their
most?
clothing is all modern. It's not even
Yet a
looking at
question
the
still
the
weighs
graphics
on
in the
my
original
mind.
NES Final Fantasy. The clothes that people were
Why
typically
court
wearing
dangers
did not
so
seem to be
What could you
low
possibly
detail versions of modern clothing. They seem to be low
All I
detail
care
versions
about
of
is seeing chaos
typical
dead.
medieval fantasy.
I need to. It's not a hope or a
So
dream.
this doesn't seem like
It's like
a
a hunger, a thirst.
retelling, a modernized retelling. It seems like a reimagining
Answer your question.
of either the original
Very
story or events leading up to, the original
Minister
story.
Light.
Reimagining of the original
Fetch
world.
the key to the shrine.
My lord,
Jack, Ash, Jed. I place the future of Cornelia.
Adam
in
Collings
your
says, the
hands.
blonde guy and the dark-skinned guy both look like they belong in this world. The pink-haired guy looks like he belongs in a boy band.
Do not fear us.
Yeah. And Justin says, again, pretty normal for the Final Fantasy LOL. One wacky out-of-joint character. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you, Justin. I'll be curious to see who or what Sid is in this game. I don't know if we'll get that far in to meet him or
I'll
her.
wait for you in the morning. Make your preparations and wait for me at the city gates. Until then.
Warriors have come before us, but you are different somehow. I expect great deeds.
All right. Well, I hope to get to some great deeds real soon here. I didn't want to spend as much time as I have so far in cutscenes and tutorials.
What's going on?
Is she our number 4?
Princess
Probably
Sa-
not.
The people love her.
Like a flower blooming in a dark wasteland.
Hello, Night Owl. Thanks for jumping into the chat.
I hear you to smile
Night Owl
for
asks,
once.
what system is this on? I am playing it on the Series X. It's the demo, and I don't know if this is a version natively made for Series X or if it's for Xbox One and the Series X is playing it currently through backwards compatibility. But I'm playing it on a Series X. It's also available on PlayStation consoles. I believe both 4 and 5.
Is there something you want?
There is. I need a favor from you. I heard you were going to the shrine, so I thought this would be my only chance to...
I'm gonna skip this
Favor?
scene, guys, because
actually.
the most relevant thing to me is how the game plays, not the story scenes. So hopefully, even skipping scenes, I'll know what I'm supposed to do once they give me the control of the characters again. Great. Main mission, Illusion at Journey's End. This mission is now available. Great. You can talk to people on the world map. Press that to open the game menu, then select talk to initiate conversation. These chats will give you glimpses of the everyday lives of the people of this world. Interesting. Alright, well, let's do Chaos Shrine. Each mission has a predetermined mission level. Make sure to compare this with your average equipment level before attempting a mission. The lower your average equipment level is compared to the mission level, the more break damage you will receive and the less break damage you will deal. Let's see. I don't... Hang on. Is there any kind of, like, equipment things I need to do? Change preset. What is that? From the preset menu, you can edit or save your battle sets so you can switch to them later. The preset menu can be accessed from various locations, including cubes or the world map. Battle set. Is that like, oh, it must be equipment loadouts, maybe? It looks like we've already got equipment equipped. Battle settings. Let's change jobs and gear from the battle settings menu. LB, RB to choose which character you want to customize. Be aware that party members other than Jack are limited in the equipment they can use. Change equipment affects various stats, and pressing blah will automatically equip the gear with the highest level. Every piece of equipment has a level that determines its stats and the strength of its effects. Okay, well that all makes sense. So, greatsword. Okay, it doesn't look like... Oh, mage mashers. I'm already equipping these. Equipment details. Oh wait, no, I have those already. So, I guess I'll... You cannot equip this weapon with your current job. Change jobs. No. Well, yes. Duelist. Quickly dash forward and deliver a slashing attack. Always critically hits, regardless of the enemy's position relative to you. Alright. Unleash critical hits to break an enemy. Daggers allow for high mobility, a variety of weapon skills that let you slip behind an enemy's back and inflict critical hits. Duelists also have access to the weak spot ability, which lets them inflict a guaranteed critical hit from any position. Sure. Let's give it a go. Oops. Start! Yes! Justin Meyer says, haven't you learned in modern Final Fantasy games it's like 30 minutes of cutscenes every hour of gameplay? That's such a shame. Especially when, ever since they added voice acting to the franchise, the story and it's the execution of telling that story just tanked for me, because I could always make the dialogue sound better in my head, even if it was poorly translated or awkwardly translated, as it still often is. I could make it sound better in my head when I'm flying, especially when I'm just kind of flying through it real fast. But when an actor's taken their time to give the full performance, you combine the anime tendency for over-inflection with the sometimes awkward translation, and you get a result that I'm just like, I am disconnected from the story. And so, ever since sometime during the PlayStation 2 era, I have been very swiftly disconnecting and losing interest in JRPGs in favor of Western RPGs.
Let's dive right in then.
Oops, wrong button. Dang it. Touch the cubes to restore your HP, MP, and refill your potions. If your max MP is lower than your initial MP, it will be restored to the initial value. Doing so will revive any slain enemies and remove any unclaimed items from the field. Okay, so this is a bit like, what do you call it? Like the campfires or whatever in the Souls games, yeah? Alright.
Up ahead.
I don't stand a chance.
Oops. Press blah blah to activate an ally's resonance state, during which they will use their abilities more aggressively. Okay. I don't know. Let's just do this for now. RB, 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 B. Job level up. RB, 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 B. Okay. RB, 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 B.
Treasure hunt.
All right. Equip in battle settings. Twilight Tunic. Oh, I wish they would... Oh, okay. So over there is where it says the improvement. Okay, yeah. Let's do that.
Jack, there's one down there.
Let's take it down.
You can see change one best out of the other. Why? Oh, that's interesting. So you can change your equipment loadout instantly. Each set has its own brake gauge. Switch carefully between the two to give yourself an edge in battle. Okay. You can change your battle sets by opening the... I think there was something similar to that in like Final Fantasy 13 and maybe some other Final Fantasy games, like these costume changes. And maybe 10-2 had something similar. I can't remember. You can change your battle sets by opening the battle settings menu and pressing Y. Okay. I guess I'll...
All right. Time for a change.
Okay.
All right. This is the one.
This is the one. This is the one. RB, 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 RB. RB, RB, RB. B. Some enemies cannot be staggered by regular attacks. Soul Shield and action abilities, however, can still stagger them. Alright. Stagger enemies first, then move into deal the killing blow. Soul Shield and action abilities, however, can still stagger them. Okay, I'll try to keep that in mind. Ooh, what's this?
Where does all that darkness come from?
Ooh.
A monster just popped out of that one.
Darkness isn't bad enough.
B. Alright. Let's beat this thing up. B.
It's almost too easy.
It was good practice. Nice
All right.
one, Jack. Now let's see what secrets this place is hiding.
Now already, you know, I'm feeling like the voice acting is, you know, pretty par for the course, and I usually like to turn it off.
I see some cubes over there.
But sometimes characters will talk while we're moving around and say stuff that's important, and that can be harder to keep track of when you're in the middle of the action. Alright. I mean... So far on this easy difficulty, I mean, my health is at full. I'll have to try and keep track and see if it's been going down and then restoring or not. Magic attacks like fire will still deal some damage even if you guard. Continuous hits with certain attacks will inflict status ailments. Additionally, taking damage from the same element repeatedly will make you vulnerable to that element, temporarily allowing subsequent attacks of the same type to deal even greater damage. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's try Soul Shield. Oops, I think I did that too early. Let's just RB, RB, RB. Okay, so I lost some health there. Is that gonna... Oh, I think it's been recharging when I go to those little pseudo campfires, right? Does this have anything in them? So these look like kind of darker, more gothic reimaginings of Final Fantasy bombs. I'm kind of into that. But, you know, honestly, I would prefer this redesign, this graphical treatment in a turn-based thing. Press down to use a potion and recover your HP. Well, let's not do that. Let's not do that yet. I want to see what happens kind of like when I die. Because, you know, sure, it might be easy in this introductory level, but I'm sure it's going to get harder. You see, I'm still taking some damage there. There I go. Oh, Jack! No, Jack. What is this? Whoa. After falling in battle, you'll be sent back to the last cubes you interacted with. You may also lose max MP depending on the difficulty, which I won't. Soul Shield and Soul Burst are very useful for increasing your maximum MP. For more information, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's fine as long as these things are plentiful. I just don't know how plentiful they're going to be. I don't like being sent back that far. What I really prefer in action games, like action RPGs, which this arguably is trying to pass itself as an action RPG, I think. I mean, some people say that the Souls games are action RPGs. I think they're RPG-ish action games. But I really prefer to be able to save whenever I want, not save points. I mean, the whole save point system, I think they're going to be pretty plentiful here. But I tend to not like the save point system. Alright, take one of those. I only have 5 more. Oops, wrong button for dodging. It definitely, you know, does not feel deliberate at all, like a Souls game, with this heavy, weighty, slow combat. Now, granted, I am using what is probably, my guess would be, the fastest weapon set. But even when I was using the sword at the beginning,
Not off to a good start.
so I am, again, I'm not using any kind of, oops. Wow! I accidentally drank 2 potions because the response to my button press to drink them happened really fast. So that I do consider a positive. Sometimes, I mean, I'm struggling to see the Souls influence. That's one thing that's always frustrating to me is when games will say inspired by Souls-likes, you know, or it is a Souls-like, or, you know, whatever. I find that to be about as helpful as describing a game as a Metroidvania. You know, so what do you mean by Metroidvania? Do you mean Metroid? Or do you mean Castlevania Symphony of the Night? Those are very different experiences. One is I mean, they're both like maze-like 2D exploration action games, but Symphony of the Night is an RPG. It's an action RPG with stat grinding and loot grinding that you'll not find in Metroid. But yet many games are still considered Metroidvanias, even though they're really just Metroid-likes.
Slow down.
Okay,
Keep going.
drink your potion. What's in here? Is there a save point in here? No. There's something up there, though. Okay. So, I mean, I can tell already that I'm gonna have to, in order to progress, I am gonna have to learn the dodging mechanics. It's as I suspected, not truly what they described in saying you could, quote, breeze through battles. You know, talking about things in terms of being easy and hard, those are very relative terms depending on the gamer, and so I wish that there was something that could more accurately give an indication of, and I guess they, to be fair, they did give some descriptions on what the differences are, but most times easy difficulty is not truly easy. I think easy difficulty, or especially story difficulty, it's like, I just want to see the story. You know, for players who just want to see the story. Okay, if that's really the intent in a story difficulty, then I should be unkillable. But I don't know, that's rare if ever that I've seen a story mode difficulty that actually makes me unkillable. Oh crap. Okay, this guy, I'm getting out of here. Oh, hey. Great. Interact. So, I mean, I'm only going to be playing this for maybe about 20 more minutes, which is not near enough to really give this game a fair shot. But what I wanted to do,
Through those flames.
knowing that I didn't have my usual 5 hours that I use to kind of get a first impression of a game, but rather just, roughly 1 hour, which is really not fair. So this shouldn't be thought of as a review, but just the very first of very first impressions, What I wanted to just get a sense of is what is the basic gameplay? How should this game be categorized in my mind, Since terms like Souls-like or roguelite or whatever, or Metroidvania they've lost most of their usefulness. Even RPG, if we're calling Souls games RPGs, or even action RPGs. Why is that significant? What's the difference between RPG-ish action game? Because it's the difference between adjective and noun. The adjective describes the noun. The noun is the core thing that it is. The adjective is a qualifier. It is an add-on descriptive element of the core thing. So if we're going to say something is an action RPG, then on a core level, it mostly mechanically should function as an RPG. And RPGs are not about twitch skills. They're about inhabiting a role. Mages are masters of utilizing action abilities to break enemies. Normal attacks with a mace will recover ample MP, and charged attacks can take big chunks out of an enemy's break gauge, allowing mages to break foes all the faster. Mages can cast spells with right trigger and will recover MP while casting. Okay. I didn't really retain any of that. It's hard to do this and give this, when I'm trying to blab for making content as well as play a game, it's not the same as me just really giving a game my full attention. Douse the flames with a mage's water spell. Okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. So let's equip a mace in the battle settings. I guess, is the mace going to give me water spells? Hermit Club. Yeah, sure. Change jobs. Great. Oh, mace is for mages, huh? Okay. Okay. I think I'm tracking with you. Alright. Okay, so lock on to the fire. Okay, right trigger cast. Oh, what? How about... Okay. That was weird. Why is it spinning around like that? Just, what does that mean? Oh! The longer you hold it, it like, builds up maybe, so it's now like these are the more powerful versions. Right? Okay, I think I understand. Oh, I don't like that, though. Can I cancel? How do I cancel now? Okay, so B, I could cancel out of that spell, it looked like. Okay, so here...
Jack, let's go.
I really liked Final Fantasy XII and its real-time with pause system, which is similar to the classic Baldur's Gate PC games and Dragon Age Origins. And I would like a game with this kind of graphical fidelity that used that system rather than an action input system. All right. Well, let's see here. Okay. I wasn't really interested in the tutorial. I just wanted to check my equipment. I mean, I'll keep playing for another, 10, 15 minutes, but I've already got the questions answered that I wanted to have answered about what does this game feel like to play? How deliberate is it? Guess that's good. Got a helmet here? Let's wear this one, I guess. Did I equip it? Okay, there we go. Twilight Tunic. Did we get something better already? I also heard that, you're constantly getting new equipment. It can be kind of overwhelming. Which, I don't know, that could feel overwhelming to me. I'd have to play it longer to know. It could also feel really cool to, like, constantly feel like you're getting loot that's helping you progress. Did I... Twilight trousers, I didn't mean to take my shirt off. Did I have to... Oh, it's a full bodysuit. Gotcha, okay. How about this? Can I change my shoes? Cool, okay, so I guess I'm kind of in a caster mode right now. Whatever. What's, you know, from a specifically Christian perspective, what's always kind of interested me about Japanese RPGs that... Well, I mean, it's not just Japanese RPGs, but I mean, it's very common in Japanese RPGs. This idea of chaos being the antagonist, the thing that needs to be defeated, rather than evil. You've got order and chaos, rather than good and evil. And then what you'll find sometimes, there can be too much of the light faction, which is usually defined or described in terms of order. But chaos can be seen in a positive light as well. And so they're not necessarily good and evil. And that is more Eastern philosophy. It's not biblical. Sometimes, you know, there'll be like a good faction in a game that, like, or they'll even talk about good. Oops, I respawned all my enemies. They'll even talk about, you know, good sometimes in games as like, they're, you know, too much good is actually bad, you know? And that'll be represented in terms of like legalistic, authoritarian, religious organizations. And so I suppose in that sense there can be too much order, but it depends on, you know, what is the source of the order? What is the... Gosh, is there a door to get through here? And this is a dead end. Okay. What's the source of the order? Who or what is the authority? Is it a flawed source? So, you know, when you're dealing with Star Wars and light and dark, you're dealing with something similar, and you're not really talking about good and evil.
Trouble.
And I tend to, and I don't think it's just because I'm looking at things from a biblical perspective, I tend to connect more with stories that are about good and evil rather than chaos and order, you know. I think from a dramatic perspective, I think we want, you know, like to feel a sense of dramatic fulfillment when an enemy is defeated. If that enemy is evil rather than just kind of like loosey-goosey and chaotic at the end of the day, it's more gratifying for them to be defeated. Oops, I keep trying to dodge with B because I've been playing so much Elix. I probably... Oh, I picked up more health potions. How have I been getting those? Oh, okay, yeah. So a lot of times enemies are dropping. And what's this here? Caster mask. Look at that! Look how much equipment I'm getting. Oh, and you can even see from the ghostly outline, like this is going to be a sword. Or greatsword, okay. Interesting. So I can see this, yeah, either being really appealing or overwhelming from a loot mechanic standpoint. Da-dum-ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. They're kind of reorchestrating classic Final Fantasy tunes. Just wanted to point that out for any fans of the original game. But it's so funny because this doesn't seem like it's for fans of the original game. Unless it's really banking on or assuming that fans of the original game have now kind of moved beyond turn-based and now just want to play Souls-likes, you know? I don't know. I don't know who this game is for. But I mean, I like the visual designs. I like the world is, you know, looks nice to move around in. It doesn't. I don't think it's the type of gameplay that's really gonna suck me in. Let me see if there's any questions from you guys. Anything you want me to open up or look at in terms of menus or whatever before I kind of wrap things up here. Night Owl, I agree with you. I'm right there with you. Night Owl says, I miss when these games were turn-based. Me freaking too. Justin Meyer says, looks a lot like 15. Yeah, I could maybe see it. Do I have gray skin now? Or is that just the lighting? Maybe it's just the lighting. Like Dark Souls, when you die, you turn into a zombie person or something, right? Oh, no, that was just the lighting there. Okay. Hey, Ravenous Spectre, thanks for jumping in the chat. I'm about to wrap up here. Ravenous Spectre says, hey, brother, the demo of this was fun, but it looked horrible. LOL. I'm going to rent it from Gamefly anyways. I'd be interested to hear what you think after spending more time with it than I have. Hey, Rugged Warrior. I wonder if I could drop myself into a big, juicy boss fight before we finish. Probably not.
Looky here.
Speaking of 15, I mean, I think I would sooner finish 15 than start playing this game. I do love how in Final Fantasy games handle their world and character designs a lot of the time. There are some things I don't like here and there, but I generally do like the design aesthetics when they lean into being serious, you know. Oops. Oh, dang it. Wrong evade button. But I mean, it's been so interesting over the years to watch Final Fantasy go from a franchise that knows what it is to slowly losing its identity, I think. Bats!
I hate bats.
Oh, I'm about to die. Take a thing. There we go. Ooh! Supersonic wave! Oh, picked up a potion. That's nice. Man, my job level's been going up so fast, and I don't even know what that's doing for me. So, I mean, this does not... Now, granted, I'm playing on the easy peasiest difficulty I could find. But at least on this difficulty, it doesn't play like a lumbering Souls-like at all to me. And I don't think the animations are going to be different in the higher difficulties. I think it probably still is going to play more like a... I don't want to say God of War, but certainly more that speed. Yeah, I don't think there's more that I need to see or find or say. So, yeah, it's... I mean, if it would have been a straight Souls-like with the lumbering combat and stuff, I definitely would have been, not for me. Even though games like Monster Hunter World and now Elix are raising my tolerance for more slower reacting and more deliberate combat. Those games have so much more going for them in terms of systems and world interactivity than a Souls-like, which is just about loot, combat, gaining experience. It's not about all kinds of dialogue choice and interesting, characters. It's primarily they're known for combat, and the combat experience. And that seems like that's what this is mostly about is combat. I mean, other than the static cutscenes that you just sit and watch, I'm not interacting with characters and making dialogue choices and stuff like that. So I think I would be more likely to find myself playing this again than if it would have been a straight Dark Souls imitator. But that's not to say that there's much chance at all that I'll be coming back to this one and giving it a try. There's just so many other games that I think I'm much more likely to enjoy because they're just kind of my thing. But I would be interested to hear in the comments below, in the archived version of this video, since I'm about to take off. I got to go pick up my son from school soon. But I'll put this up as an archive as soon as I'm able to after turning off the stream. But yeah, in the comments below, would love to hear thoughts of anybody has about this game. If you spent more time with it, kind of what your thoughts are after spending more time with it, or anything else you want to share. Let's see here. Any questions have I missed? Oh, you need a controller for this game, so my thing just died out. Okay. Ravenous Spectre says, oh yeah, the game is great on the easiest modes, but the bosses can bring a bit of a challenge, just a bit. Yeah, I would believe that. And if I were to come back to it, I'd play it on the easiest mode. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks for those of you who jumped into the chat while this was going live, and thanks anybody else who watches this later on. That's all for now. Bye-bye.